you need one, an egg. You need two, a sperm cell. For you to understand exactly when you can get pregnant, so you need to understand when that egg is released. You need to understand how long this egg can stay in your system once it is released. And then you have to understand how long sperm cell can also stay within you once sperm cells have been deposited during sex. In this way, you will be able to understand if it is possible for you to get pregnant if you have sex immediately after your menses. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful episode of our health discussion. So we are going to look at, can you get pregnant if you have sex immediately after your menstruation? So if you menstruate on the first, you menstruate on the second, you menstruate on the third. The question is, can you get pregnant if you have sex immediately? That's right after that, meaning that on day 4. Hi, Sister Faith, you're welcome. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. So to answer this question, you need to first of all know when your egg is released. That's the first thing, when your egg is released. The second thing is you need to know how long, when sperm cells are deposited, how long it will stay in the female reproductive tract. So you need to know how long sperm cells can stay. So with these two parameters, you will be able to tell if you can get pregnant immediately after menstruation or not. But if you don't even understand when your egg is released, you don't even understand how long the sperm cell can last once it is deposited, then it becomes very difficult for you to know exactly if you can actually get pregnant if you have sex immediately after your menses. For those who are joining us for the very first time, please don't forget to share this live stream. Don't forget to also comment your question in the chat. If you have a question, just put in the chat. We're going to respond to the question to the best of our abilities. While you can, don't forget to also subscribe to Women's Health Forum. Thank you so much. So the very first thing is to know, when is your egg released? When is your egg released? You want to know when the egg is released, and you also know how long the sperm cell can stay in the female genital tract. Then we are on track to know if you can get pregnant when sex occurs immediately after menstruation or not. But if you don't know when the egg is released, you don't know how long sperm cell can last in the female genital tract, then practically it becomes very difficult for you to actually know exactly if you can get pregnant immediately after menstruation. Now, how do you know when the egg is released? The day that egg is released is what we call the ovulation day. So in essence, we are saying that for you to know if you have sex immediately after your menses, you can get pregnant, is by you understanding the ovulation day. So if you understand the ovulation day is the day the egg is released. Once you understand that, then we are saying you are able to know if you have sex immediately after menstruation, you won't be able to get pregnant or not. So when is your ovulation day? When is your ovulation day? If you are just watching us, if you are clicking on this video, please put in the chat below, when do you think you ovulate? Is it day 1, day 2, day 7, day 14, day 15, day 20, day 21? When do you think you ovulate? Put in the chat below. If you know the right answer, just put in the chat below. So knowing when you ovulate means you know exactly when the egg is released. The day the egg is released is called the ovulation day. The day the egg is released, which is the ovulation day, is just 24 hours. I've seen a lot of ladies, they get confused, they start thinking, my ovulation is 3 days, my ovulation is 1 week, my ovulation is maybe 5 days, 2 days. The ovulation day is 1 day, that is 24 hours. Once your egg is released, Let's say today local time, your eggs release at 7 p.m. local time. It means by tomorrow, 7 p.m. local time tomorrow, that egg will no longer be there. So if your egg is released today, 7 p.m. local time, you have sex by 8 p.m. tomorrow, the probability of you getting pregnant is almost zero because the egg will no longer be there. This has to be understood because a lot of ladies get confused. There is a difference between the day the egg is released, which is the ovulation day, and the fertile window of a woman. The fertile window of a woman is different or looking the same but different from the ovulation day. The fertile window are those days leading to the ovulation day, or they are those days leading to the day that the egg is released. So the days leading to the day the egg is released, as well as the day the egg is released, plus maybe a day after, is generally considered to be your fertile window. But that day the egg is released is called the ovulation day, and that day lasts just for 24 hours, which means it's 1 day. So your ovulation is 1 day. So to understand if you can get pregnant if you have sex immediately after menstruation is to first of all understand the day that egg is released, which is the ovulation day. So once you understand that, now the next thing is to understand how many days will sperm cell last in the female genital tract once sperm is deposited. So if you have intercourse with your partner today, how long will that sperm cell stay within your reproductive system? How long will it stay? These are the two questions. Once answered, then the question we are asking here will be able to answer. The first step, if you know when you ovulate, when you release the egg, the second step is to know how long sperm cell lasts in your female reproductive tract. Generally, sperm cell lasts between 3 days right up to 5 days. So between 3 days right up to 5 days. 3 days is like the optimum. Okay. So if you meet with your partner on the 1st of April, the sperm cell will still be there. It will be there on that 1st, will be there on the 2nd, will be there on the 4th, will be there on the 5th. On the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, it will still be there. So sperm cell can stay right up to 5 days in the female reproductive system. With this, you're going to understand that for you to understand if having sex immediately after menstruation can get you pregnant, you have to make sure that if the egg is released and you have any intercourse you have between these days, we say sperm cell can last, you become pregnant. You become pregnant. Sister Faith, thank you so much for your question. I'm going to respond to it. Okay, thank you so much for your question. So you become pregnant. Sister Faith, please just stay below. Probably you're going to answer the question even by our discussion. So you see that one. The first step is to know when your egg is released. The second step is to know how many days sperm cell can last. How do you know that day? How do you know that today is my ovulation day? How do you know? You know that by knowing the menstrual cycle. What is your menstrual cycle? What is your menstrual cycle? If you're watching this video, please put in the chat, what is your menstrual cycle? If you know your menstrual cycle, then to know the day you ovulate is 1 second. The menstrual cycle minus 14 gives you the day your egg is released. Let me repeat again. The menstrual cycle minus 14 gives you the day your egg is released. Are we together? Your menstrual cycle, let's take for example, you are 28-day cycle. How do you know the day the egg is released? Take 28 minus 14. The answer gives you 14. Isn't it? That is the day your egg is released. Day 14. So the menstrual cycle minus the day minus 14 gives you the day your egg is released. The next thing, once you already know that this is the day your egg is released, you now take how many days, if sperm cells, if I have sex on this day, how long will it stay? Okay, let's take for example, if your cycle is 21-day cycle, 21-day cycle for example, when will the egg be released if you're 21-day cycle? It will be 21 minus 14. So 21 minus 14, what does it give you? It gives you 7. It means the egg will be released on day number 7 for a 21-day cycle. The egg will be released on day 7, which therefore means you will ovulate on day 7. 1 minute, please. So you will ovulate on day 7 for a 21-day cycle. Please take special note about this because we are answering the question, can you get pregnant if you have sex immediately after your cycle? 21-day cycle, to get the day the egg is released, which is the ovulation. Take 21 minus 14. 14 is a standard. Whenever you want to know when the egg is released or the day of the ovulation, subtract 14 from it. Okay, so 21 minus 14. What do you get? 7. 7. It means for a 21-day cycle, we expect the egg, we expect the ovulation to occur on day, D-A-Y, day number 7. What do we mean by day 7? Day 7 means the first day you saw blood is called day 1. So if 1st of April was the first day you menstruated, that is day 1. 2nd of April, day 2. 3rd of April, day 3. 4th of April, day 4. 5th of April, day 5. 6th of April, day 6. And 7th of April, day 7. Look at it. Your menses is just 21 days. We're saying that your ovulation is day 7. If you're watching at the moment, please put in the chat, how many days do you menstruate? You will see that most ladies menstruate between 2 to 3 days. Okay, most ladies will menstruate averagely 3 days. Some will menstruate for 2 days. Normal menstruation falls between 2 to 7 days. So if you menstruate for 7 days, still okay. You menstruate for 2 days, it's still okay. But if you menstruate averagely for that 3 days you're talking about, and we just said for a 21-day cycle, ovulation occurs on day number 7. We are just from saying that sperm cells can last how many days in the female reproductive system? 5 days. 5 days, sperm cell can last. For 5 days. That's what I'm saying. The sperm cell can last for up to 5 days. If sperm cell can last up to 5 days, and the day your egg is released is day 7, and you menstruate for 3 days. You menstruate for 3 days. What does it mean? It means immediately after your menstruation, which is day number 4, how many days do you have until you meet the egg? You have day number 4, which is 1, day number 5, which is 2, day number 6, which is 3, and day number 7, which is just 4 days. Meaning if you have sex immediately after your menses, you're already within the range that the sperm cell will wait for the egg and fertilize, isn't it? So you see that for a 21-day cycle, If you have sex immediately after your menses, you can become pregnant. There's a high probability. Why? Because for a 21-day cycle, the ovulation occurs on day 7. Sperm cells, if you have sex 1 day before day 7 is day 6. Sperm cell will wait for the egg and fertilize and you can become pregnant. If you have sex 2 days before day 7 is day 5. Sperm cell can wait for the egg and fertilize the egg for you to become pregnant. If you have sex 3 days before day 7, sperm cell will still wait. Because sperm cell can live up to 5 days. It will wait, and 3 days before day 7 is day 4. It's day 4. And on that day, most ladies, I'm sorry, I had a network glitch. So you see that for somebody who has a 21-day cycle, so this answer, if it is possible for you get pregnant, if you have sex immediately after your cycle, yes, you can get pregnant. But it is also a no for a person with cycles such as 30 days, 32 days, 33 days, 34 days, 35 days. The answer is a no. They cannot get pregnant if they have sex immediately after their menses. So what are you supposed to do? Learn how to calculate your menses. Learn how to calculate your cycle. Once you learn how to calculate your cycle, it will be much more easier for you. Learn how to calculate your cycle. If you don't know how to calculate your cycle, please, a lot of videos here explaining on how you can calculate your cycle. Please visit those videos, learn how to calculate your cycle. You'll see that this question will be answered in a very simple and straightforward manner. So yes, you can get pregnant if you have sex immediately after your menses for a person with 21, 22, 23 day cycle. You can get pregnant. And in some situations, even 24 to 25 day cycle. For a person with long cycle, then the probability of you getting pregnant is so slim, it's almost zero. So long cycle is not possible, but short cycle is possible. I think with that, we've actually answered the question where this topic wanted us to go. So I want to appreciate all those who followed through. Sister Faith, let me look at your question. Sister Faith, let me look at your question. You said, please, let me see. You said you are a 24-day cycle and you saw your menses on the 16th of March. When will my ovulation be? I think you should be able to answer that question, right? We have just explained. That's why I said if you follow through. Can you answer the question now, please? Can you answer the question now, please? If you saw if you are a 24-day cycle, you saw your period on the 16th. You said 16, right? 16th of March. 16th of March. 16th of March, yeah. 24-day cycle, you saw your period on the 16th of March. Can you answer the question? Do you know when your ovulation will be? You cannot still answer? Okay. We just said that ovulation is your cycle minus 14. So 24 minus 14, what does it give you? Sister Faith, are you there? 24 minus 14, what does it give you, Sister Faith? 24 minus 14. What does it give you? Is Sister Faith there, please? 24 minus 14, what will you get? What will you get? 24 minus 14, what will you get? Okay. 24 minus 14, the answer is 10. Simple, straightforward. It's 10. So for 24-day cycle, your ovulation occurs on day 10. And I said, in this particular video, I said, you start counting from the first day of your menses. So I'm asking you, if you saw your period on the 16th of March, start counting from that 16 as 1 until you get to 10 and tell me when will day 10 of your cycle fall. That is the day of your ovulation. I hope you've understood. So as simple as that, do the calculation, you can get to that. Okay, so start counting from the 16 is day 1, 17 is day 2, 18 is day 3, 19 is day 4, 20 is day 5, 21 day 6, just like that until you get to day number 10. The first day you saw blood is always your day 1. Ladies, don't get confused. First day you saw blood, it's always day 1. Okay, whenever you saw blood, it's always day 1. And you should understand that the day we call as ovulation day, which is your cycle minus 14, that's not the only day you can get pregnant. You can still get pregnant if you have sex 1 day before that day. We have already explained this. That if you have sex 1 day before that day, 2 days before that day, 3 days before that day, 4 days before that day, 5 days before that day, 6 days before that day, 7 days before that day. Yeah, sure that my connection is very slow. You're getting this discussion really late. So that is it. So it's as simple as that. I hope you can understand it now. My connection is extremely slow. Yeah, but there's no problem. I think the message has gone through. Please, is there any other question? Because we're going to go up. Is there another question? So you see that we've already answered the question. Okay, as simple as that. So if no other question, I want to appreciate all those who follow us. Sister Fit, thank you so much. May God bless you. Please, for those who are watching this video after, don't forget to follow us on YouTube. We are Women's of Forum. Follow us on Facebook. We are Women's of Forum. Also follow us on TikTok. We are Women's of Forum. Please, there are complete videos on the menstrual cycle we have done. You can check those videos explaining the menstrual cycle and the fertile window as well as the ovulation day. Hopefully, if you're just joining, you're going to watch the video and you understand exactly, you have the answer for this question. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Do have a beautiful evening. This is Tim Adauda for Women's Health. Thank you so much.